Hello, everybody, and good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the show yet again. I'm here to tell you guys that it is about time that you follow or subscribe to the show wherever you listen. I know y'all are out there listening, and you're not subscribing, and you're not following the show, and I don't like that kind of behavior. You guys know I'm tired of working these garbage jobs, wasting my time. The links are in the description of the show wherever you listen. All the links, all the social media links, all the different platforms. Wherever you listen, all I ask is to subscribe, to follow. Please, please, I'm begging you, subscribe, follow, and most importantly, enjoy today's episode. What's happening, gang? Thank y'all so much for sitting down in your car or somewhere else. I don't know. I mean, for the most part, I listen to podcasts in the car. But there's sometimes when a podcast is just so goddamn good, I bring it with me in the house and I listen to it there. I know some people exercise with podcasts in. I've been known to do that in the past as well. I remember when I was younger, I couldn't exercise at all without headphones and like music. And now there's times where I'd prefer it, like otherwise, to not have any music. But either way, we got some fun stuff to talk about today. The first one, I just want to get it out of there, out in the open, is I have finally found out what the fuck I'm doing April 1st when my lease is up in this place. I have finally found it out. I'm going to New London, Connecticut. I don't know if I had said this already, but I'm fucking saying it again. I got me a little place out by the beach in New London, Connecticut. It's not New York. It's not even fucking close to New York. It's only an hour from Providence. But things are falling into place because I will also be working at Mohegan Sun, which will be nice. I'll be working in the brandy new sports book. So people will be throwing bets around, and hopefully I'll be the recipient of some of those earnings. But yeah, it's a bit of a weight lifted off my shoulders. As far as podcasts go, I'm going to try and bang out as many as I can while I'm still in Rhode Island, while I still have this particular setup, because the setup is going to change very much. It's going to be quite different. I'm hoping I can still do at least 2 microphones and both cameras, but it's going to be set up quite different. So, should be fun. And I'm excited because the cool thing about Mohegan is that I can, after 60 days, I can go ahead and apply to a new position if I want. You know, if there's something that pops up and it's like, hey, that might help me do comedy even more. The schedule might be better. I might get more money. It might be both. So it's good. It's a good opportunity. I'm happy. And that's that. That's all I got to say about my life. But I will say I was right, and I fucking told you so. I told you. You're saying, what are you talking about, Antonio? What were you right about? What? How are you How were you able to predict something that happened? How are you able to do it? It's because I'm a fucking genius. I'm a genius that can also see through very thick veils of bullshit, very thick layers of bullshit. What I am referring to is the fact that Tom Brady is coming back to football. Tom Brady, and I know this is the running joke, but I said it beforehand, and everybody fucking knows it. Everybody knows it. I've been talking about it for months. That motherfucker went home, sat down with his family, and said, ugh, oh, God, I need brain damage. If I'm going to sit around these people for as long as they want me to sit around them, I need brain damage, and I don't have it yet. I still have all my faculties. I run businesses. I am the poster child for different businesses. I have endorsements. I can play with my children. My body isn't beaten to a pulp. I am not reduced to a shell of myself like some of my former teammates. I need to go back. I need to go back because I don't want to hear any of this shit. I don't want to hear that my son or daughter is getting bullied in school and they need help. I don't want to hear that. I have 7 Super Bowl rings. That's more than any franchise. I don't need this bullshit. What I do need is brain damage, and I also need my physical body to be deteriorated and destroyed. So I don't need to go home and fuck my supermodel wife, because God knows I don't want to do that, right? God knows I barely want to do that. I don't want to hear about the budget. I don't want to hear about trips and credit card. No, I want to know if my receiver is going to make the right cut at the right time so I can throw the perfect ball to him and he can score my 4,000th touchdown, and I can get more shit on my wall in my office, as well as on the wall of the Hall of Fame and on the wall in the Patriot fucking the Patriot Hall of Championships and the Tampa Bay Hall of Championships. I need to go back. My place is not on the sidelines. That's what he said, right? I realize my place is not on the sidelines. It belongs out on that field. I still have more to give. Yeah. Give it to your family. What about your family? They don't give, right? They only take. They take. The fans in the game, they give back. I give everything to the fans and to the game, my team, my coaches. I give them everything and they give me something back. I get championships. I get records. People know me. I have only done this for 30 plus years. Right? It has to be 30 plus because he was with the Patriots for 20, and then he's with Tampa Bay for 2 or 3, plus his college and high school. So he's been playing football his entire life. He doesn't know anything else. You would have thought that Tom Brady would have been the guy to just ride off into the sunset. You would have thought. He had a monstrous comeback in this past season against the team that ended up winning the Super Bowl. He almost beat him. He tied it up going into the fourth quarter, or at the end of the fourth. I don't remember exactly what happened, but it was some crazy comeback. And it's hard to step down when you still think you're good. Like he's good still, you know? He said he'll play until he sucks. Eminem said the same thing. I'm going to do this until I suck. And, Eminem is a little closer than Tom Brady. Which is wild, right? Isn't it crazy, the ebbs and flows that these monoliths go through? You'd think being at, is a guy like Dave Chappelle at some point, everyone's going to be like, oh, he's a hack. Nobody listens to Dave Chappelle anymore. You know? I don't know if people are saying that about Tom Brady, but people definitely say it about Eminem. I never thought in my lifetime there would be any Eminem slander, and I'm a part of it. I don't listen to Eminem. I think he sucks. Nowadays, right? I mean, he did the thing with MGK, right? And he ended him, which was good. That's good, right? That's pretty cool. And that gave him a little bit of the old school shady vibes. But it goes to show, guys, changing with the times is important. Changing with the times is very important. It's sad when you see older people not willing to embrace technology or willing to embrace the newness of everything, if that's even a word. It comes as you get older, I guess. People don't want to change. Humans don't change. We know that. Most people don't fucking change. It can happen. It could totally happen. Me and James were having this argument. Not an argument, but we were talking about it in the group chat in a way that made it sound and look like an argument. But we really weren't arguing. And if we were, who gives a fuck? I still won. But we were talking about how there's so many ex-mobsters that nowadays just lean on their old life and the stories. And they're making livings for themselves by being social media people, by being, what's the word? Content creators, right? Michael Frances, John A. Light, Sammy the Bull Gravano. Who else? All the guys that are on Vlad TV, Frank Collada, all these ex-mob guys who have incredible stories that everyone wants to hear. And a lot of them sound similar, but they're also very different because they're different fucking people. But James was telling me all about how, because I said Sammy the Bull Gravano is cooler than Michael Frances. And the first reason is because he killed, right? That is cool in and of itself. He killed people, right? And but he ratted, right? He went back on the very thing that he lived for, and whatever else. And then you also hear why he did it, and it was because Gotti wanted him to take the fall for absolutely everything, and I guess you mix that with the fact that Gotti was not a great boss, and people didn't like him, and he was kind of narcissistic. Gotti said, fuck you, I'm not doing that. Not Gotti, Sammy. He said, fuck you, I'm not doing that. So I'm going to rat. I'm going to cooperate. And he did like 8 years for killing like 8 people. That's not bad. That's not bad. He got off pretty goddamn good, if we're being honest, because he must have cooperated like a motherfucker. Like he gave up some. He was pointing, and yeah, he was totally a fucking snitch and a rat. And he says it. It's not like he runs from it. You could tell he's not proud of it, 100%. He's very upset with the fact that he cooperated, but he doesn't shy away from it. He knows that he cooperated. But you know what else he knows? He knows that he was a bad motherfucker back in the day. He was a nasty fucking gangster. He was a mobster who fucking killed you if you looked the wrong way. He was powerful. He had unions all throughout New York City in his back pocket. And he knows that still today. He doesn't try and put on a face and like Michael Frances. Michael Frances, he, first of all, in the mob, was a moneymaker, which is phenomenal, right? He was the work smarter, not harder guy. He got in because of his pop. Sammy had no ties leading into the mob, but he got in because of his dad, Michael Frances, and he made hella money. He made probably more money than Sammy. He made more money than probably everybody in the fucking mob. He had a crazy scheme. But now he cooperated as well, and he says he didn't put anybody in jail, which is good. That's cool. Now he takes that point, right? I cooperated, and nobody ever did time because of Michael Frances. Nobody ever did time because of what I said to anybody. No one. Okay, that's a good brag if you're still in the life or you still have ties to the life. Like if Sammy said that, people would be like, "Oh, wow, solid," right? But on the other side of the Frances coin, he's talking to people like he's a reformed man, and I found Christ, and that's the old me, and he's over here trying to be a motivating factor, a positive factor in children's lives. I fucked up, and yeah, okay. So in the last video, you were bragging about how you didn't put anybody in jail. All the ruthless murderers and the schemers and the thieves and the fucked up people that you knew, you didn't put anyone in jail. Nobody went in jail because of you, but you're a positive influence. Why? Because you fucked up and did some illegal shit for years and years and years, and then you sat in a cell and said, you know what? When I come out, I'm going to change. Yeah, because it was your only fucking option, because by the time you got out, the shit was done. You couldn't go back to, and it's not like you were being on the street as an earner. You were doing it the right way. Frances was doing it the right way. But my problem is, and this is my whole point, is that Sammy is just fucking, he's cooler, he's more authentic, he's more organic. Yeah, he was a rat. He went against the very thing that he fucking lived for. He did. And you could see that when he talks about it in his podcast, it fucking bothers him. Whereas Michael Frances has a fucking evangelical mask on, pretending to be, oh, well, I'm this and I'm that. The only reason you can even make the claim that you're a motivating, positive person is because you fucked up and became a criminal. What about the people that aren't criminals? Aren't they supposed to be positive aren't they supposed to be positive? The people who aren't criminals? I don't know. It's just weird. But I think I got on this topic because we were talking about the changing of times, and both of those guys, all the mobsters, were kind of able to do it, right? They were kind of able to adapt because there's so many other mobsters that nobody gives a fuck about, right? And they don't care either. They're like, fuck it, I did my shit, I'm out, and now I'm a dishwasher or something like the dude from what's his name? Henry, whatever, from Goodfellas. I'm forgetting his goddamn name. He might be dead now, but that guy, I saw his real life documentary. And after everything, he was just like a drunk in a restaurant as a cook in like fucking Texas or something, or the Midwest, somewhere strange. But yeah, I don't know, not changing with the times. It's the difference between seeing successful people, right? Because you're a successful person your entire life. My grandmother changed with the times a fair amount. You know what I'm saying? As soon as she came to America, she lived her whole life. She was like, I don't know, she was born in what, 36, so 1970. How old is she there? She's 34, right? 34. She's lived 34 years not knowing how to drive. And obviously, forget the fact that she learned a whole language. That's just kind of the byproduct from moving. But she lived 34 years without a license, without needing to drive, and then as soon as she got here, within the same year, she was driving, and then that carries on forever and ever and ever. You know, she asked us to put shit on Craigslist. She was gonna learn how to use a laptop. The whole thing. She's 86 or 85, so it's like you keep learning. I don't know how. Oh yeah, because I was right. Tom Brady doesn't know. And we're back. Sorry. Some weird technical difficulties. I thought my hard drive just shit the bed. Seems pretty close. It's crazy. I got this hard drive at Walmart it was on sale. It was like $20, but it's like 4 terabytes. Anyway, that shit don't matter. I was screaming about Tom Brady and how he hasn't done enough. He has not done enough in his life as a football player. It just goes to show, man, a master... what is it? A jack of all trades, but a master of none is still better than a master of one. Because what's that motherfucker gonna do? Nothing. I know I spoke a lot about this with Chris last week, Mr. Chris Bullock, but I don't give a fuck. It's my show. I talk about what the fuck I want. Another fun thing that I read the other day, and I'll look it up just to be triple sure. It looks like they're going to let you kill babies in Maryland. Oh, yeah, here it is. Look at this. Maryland bill would legalize infanticide. Could be left to die up to 28 days after birth. Just that headline. Babies could be left to die up to 28 days after birth. It is about time. We don't need all these goddamn babies. You know we don't. You know we don't. I think it should be sooner or longer. I think it should be, you should have 2 months, then the baby can die. 28 days. You can really be like in 28 days, you know what? I don't think I want this fucking thing. I don't think I do. I'm just going to leave it. So it says left to die. So does that mean they just leave it in the fucking incubator? And then they, stop feeding it, they stop giving it nourishment, and then they toss it in the incinerator? Like, what? What are the rules here? What is Maryland thinking? Legalizing the death of babies. I mean, is that... why don't we just start killing people in general? Like, why isn't there a bill that says... legal homicide? If you met a person and 30 days after meeting them, you don't like them anymore, you can stab them to death in their house. Right? It's got to be some kind of rule, right? Or if they're in your house, you can torture them. You can torture them, and then it's up to you if you want to kill them. You can torture them for up to 10 days, and then you can kill them, or you can let them go. Those 10 days is kind of the grace period, and you figure out really what you want to do. Most people take all 10 days to torture. They burn cigarettes. They spin them around real fast. They do fucked up shit. But it's the law. It's the law, guys. You got to follow the law. A law like this shows how, I guess, subjective laws can be, right? law and order. We need law and order. We can't have people running around doing crazy shit. We need laws in place to make sure everyone is safe and controlled and yeah. Then you have a law like this where you could kill babies. Actual babies. Like I am pro-choice. If there's any stance that I take on anything, I have always said it is your body. You do what the fuck you want with it, and that's with everything. That's with drugs. That's with sex. That's with body changes, right? Tattoos and liposuction and plastic surgery. All that shit. Do what the fuck you want. Yes, we're throwing in the X factor of another life being inside of a person, whatever. But if they don't want the kid, if they can't take care of the kid, if there's all these fucking extraneous circumstances that lead to them not wanting the child, they should be allowed to get rid of it before it comes out. Right? Before it comes out. Because it's a little easier. You know, they pull this mushy little, thing out, and then they just throw it in the trash compactor. There's a little, it doesn't look that good, right? If you saw a fetus that was ready to be aborted, you'd be like, alien, get that fucking thing away. But a whole baby, you're gonna pull out and then let it live for a month. And why? So in that time, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna keep him. I'm gonna keep him. I have decided that in these 30 days, I love this child and I'm going to keep him. Really. What happened to that thing that when parents have a kid, what happened to the sanctity of life? Right? I had another time where I was talking about this. What happened to that? It went away. There's no regard for human life anymore. I'm a testament to it. I'm over here talking about how you could kill a baby in Maryland and how you should be able to do it for longer. I'm here satirizing that. I don't care, and there's plenty of people like me who don't care, which is nuts. It's crazy. I'm supposed to be the outlier. I'm supposed to be the guy that nobody wants to talk to about anything because I think the worst. Not necessarily the worst that's going to happen. I meant like the worst. Like, oh, this guy's the worst. This is how he thinks. Maryland, you might be allowed to kill babies. Let's see. A bill under consideration in the Maryland General Assembly appears to legalize infanticide. The Pregnant Persons Freedom Act of 2022, in addition to perpetuating the delusion that persons other than women can conceive and carry a child, includes the following ominous admonition. Admonition? This section may not be construed to authorize... I can't read. To authorize any form of investigation or penalty for a person experiencing a miscarriage, prenatal death related to a failure to act, or stillbirth. Perinatal death related to a failure to act is the most menacing line in this terrible bill. And precise with interpretation, the World Health Organization defined it as a period between 23 weeks gestation and 7 days after birth. Other bodies say that the prenatal period, or the perinatal period, ends 28 days after birth. There is no place for the word fetus. This is a child born alive and possessing every right that you and I enjoy. I guess, right? I guess. It is, it's crazy, right? That a bill like this would even be brought to people, right? That the people that we put in charge of our lives have come together and said, hey, I think now we should start giving fentanyl to school children. Now, hear me out. There's a lot of school children and not a lot of schools, not a lot of teachers. Teachers need money. Teachers, that we have a teacher shortage because of how terrible the job is and how many badass kids they got to deal with. If we go ahead and start giving these kids just little bits of fentanyl right in their creamed corn at lunch. Right after lunch, right? They all get riled up at lunch. They eat, they scream, then they go play outside. If we just give them a little, we'll be good, man. We will be able to rest as adults, and we'll be able to hire more teachers. More teachers will want to work because the kids will be nodding off. They'll be nodding off during spelling. You know, could you imagine that? That's what's going to come next, right? We are going to give kids. I mean, they already got kids on fucked up shit already, right? They already got kids because they're a little, their attention different, right? It's not a deficit, it's different. They don't want to learn the bullshit that they're told to fucking learn. You know, they see through it already. They see through the fucking sham that has been given to us as a society. The bullshit that we're taught in school, that it's fucking absolute nonsense. That it's absolute nonsense that you barely use on your day-to-day life. I still have never had to find the cosine of a fucking right triangle. I haven't had to do any of that shit. Pythagoras, haven't had to do a goddamn thing. Because it's all nonsense. So they give the kids that see through the fact that that's all nonsense, right? They say, here, take this. Take this. It'll help you retain this stupid shit that your body already knows. Your mind already knows that it doesn't want to know it, right? It already knows. And now we're gonna give you this pill made of a fucking mineral that we killed a bunch of kids like you. A bunch of kids like you in a school like this, in a town just like this, just a little sandier. And people have a little darker complexion than you. But a kid just like you died. Blown up. Him and his whole family and his whole fucking everyone. Everyone he knew got blown to smithereens so that you could be, so that you could sit still, so that your mind will stop working overtime in a place where it's supposed to be doing that. In a place of education where you're supposed to be asking stupid questions, and you're supposed to be asking, why is this and why? And you're supposed to be bombarded. You're supposed to be holding the teachers accountable. Nope, we're not doing that. We got to give you this. Flick, here you go. Flick, eat that. So I guess they kind of already are giving kids fentanyl, right? In a way, they're giving kids a whole bunch of fucked up shit. Here, take this. Take this. It'll help you learn. No, it'll help me retain. It'll help me retain a bunch of stupid shit. I have been feeling this way about schools for a long time, ever since I was in high school. That most of the shit that I've learned in high school, like I'm saying this in high school, like as a sophomore in high school, most of the shit that I've learned has been nonsense, right? That's what they teach in schools. School system's a fucking joke. A lot of shit is a fucking joke, right? Especially what happens in schools. It's terrible. The teachers are underpaid and overworked. There's no incentive for the kids to go to school. There's the systems are broken. Forget the inner cities, right? Those kids want no part of fucking school because there's so many other factors pulling them away from that. Not to mention, some of these schools are fucking not fit to be prisons, right? Some of these schools are murderously bad. So, what can we do? Drug them. Drug the kids. Norm Macdonald had a phenomenal joke where he was talking about how the days before school, he's like, man, those are my best days. You just play, you go outside, you fuck around, you play with a stick, you see another guy, it's great. And then you go to school, and all you want to do is go back outside, and you look outside the whole time, and they say, hey, we're going to drug you so you can pay attention now. You know, it's a fucked up thing, right? It is a very fucked up thing. Sad Guru on JRE, he was talking about how you can't survive in this country without pills. You're fucked in this country without pills. All of them, even vitamins, right? If you take all your vitamins every day, his reasoning as to why that is detrimental is because food, the way we get it from food, the way our body responds when we get certain vitamins from food, we break shit down, whatever. We retain it better. It does more for our bodies. And now, don't get me wrong. You're supposed to take your vitamins. Vitamins are, you got to supplement. You got to do something. But he's right. You need pills in this motherfucking country, no matter what the situation is, because the food choices are fucking terrible. You could grow your own food. You could raise your own food. That's cool. Good luck. Good luck doing that, right? Good luck doing that and having a life, raising your own. What are you going to have, chickens and animals and all this shit? Like, I don't know. People are so far removed from that. Joe Rogan was saying it on there. He's like, people are so far removed from growing your own food and knowing even what that is, right? You just go to the store and you pick shit up. Or you go to the restaurant, or you go McDonald's, whatever. It gets worse and worse the quicker and easier, right? That's the thing. If good food choices were quick, easy, and cheap, just like McDonald's, we'd be good, right? We would be not bad. Plus, the culture of food in America, I mean, Christ, it's just based on gluttony. It is, and I am a full partaker of it. Don't get me wrong, but it is absolutely bad. And you're fighting against a wave, right? You're fighting against the tides if you try to eat healthy, if you try to change your diet, because, my God, just turn on the TV. Hey, it's Guy Fieri here, and we're at Charlie's fucking Shake Shack, and I'm about to try this deep fried bacon wrapped corn dog covered in, I don't know, a whole bunch of shit, chocolate sauce and marshmallows. That's gangster, brother. Like, this shit it's terrible, right? Realistically, it's bad. And I've been to other countries, and they eat, but they don't eat the way that we fucking eat. Their relationship with food is a little different. People are still on clocks with their meals. You know what I'm saying? Over here, you eat when you can. You eat one meal a day, and it could be the worst fucking thing ever, right? Usually eating one meal a day is a recipe for disaster. Not for everybody. Not if you're active, or if you're somebody who fasts, or if all you need is one meal. Well, there's some people who only eat one meal, and they're healthy. But a lot of the time, for most people, you eat one meal, that means you didn't eat it all day, so you're going to eat like a motherfucker in that one meal. You're going to feel like shit. And then usually that one meal comes toward the end of the day, and you'll feel like shit for a little bit, but it'll go away. And if you stay up, you're going to get hungry again, so you'll eat again. And it's fucked up, It's a fucked up thing. But hey, at least you can kill babies in Maryland, right? At least you can take the life of a baby that's been alive for 28 days, or you can let it die. You can just leave it to die. I don't love the article I was reading. It seemed like it was somebody who was feverishly against it, which is reasonable, right? But, yeah, I mean, that's a fucked up thing. That is a fucked up thing. I mean, how soon until we can start just, like I said, kill your 5-year-old? We got a new bill today. We can, you can light up your 5-year-old like a Christmas tree with a machine gun on your front porch on a Sunday afternoon, if he has fucking, I don't know, some crazy stipulation, right? That'll be coming soon, right? It's because nobody gives a fuck about anything anymore. And I am the leading voice in it. I am here to say nobody cares, and I don't either. Goddamn right. Listen, motherfuckers, thank you. Always thank you all for tuning into the show. Listen to us on Thursday. We're going to try and put some shit together. What else? Follow, subscribe, whole thing. You know the deal, motherfuckers. We're done. Have a great rest of your Monday. Peace.